Oh, what's going on, guys? Area 51 here with a brand new YouTube video. As always, if you haven't hit subscribe, guys, please give that button a little ringle dingle for me. I'm almost hitting the 1K mark, and I cannot do that without you guys. It's a hard track. It's taken ages to get myself from where I have been to where I am now. Is why I'm expanding my video content to further out into different realms, different games, different platforms, and so on and so on. But I still need to get to that 1K mark to get myself into what I refer to as the professional realm. But it's just painful when I look at other players who have got, 2.2 million subscribers, like my mate Creek Craft over there. He's absolutely smashing it. These guys are real YouTubers. People think, oh, in our area, you're famous. I'm not famous, guys. Like, I am the tiniest little speck of grain of sand in a very, 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 very big ocean. I consider myself a nobody when it comes to things like this, but I can't get myself up into those realms without you guys hitting that subscribe button and actually watching the videos and getting those view counts up for me. I can't do it without you. I'm trying to do it all on my own, but it's very, very, very hard. So look, guys, I really appreciate it when you get behind me and support. The more followers I get, the more videos I'm going to pump out, the better content's going to be, because I have to, because when it starts getting to the realm of professionalism, I have to lift my game up and start being a little bit more a pro about my YouTube and stuff. Hence why I got to the 700 areas in my subscriber and decided, okay, time to get intros, time to get some actual area content where it's mine. People identify to that and can go, yep, I know that's Area's intro, that's who he is and stuff like that. Anyway, so as always, guys, drop all your comments in the section provided below. I'm always happy to take on suggestions, requests, and so forth, because I'm here for you guys there. Sorry, that Discord's going to keep going off like flat stick. Sorry about that. It's just because I'm doing it off this device, which is my mains device, where my Discord's attached to that one as well. So anyway, I do apologize for that. So moving right along, guys, I do take requests and so forth because the videos I make are for you guys, and if that's what you want to see, then by all means I'm going to go out of my way to do my very best to supply you with the videos and content that you guys are after. So while we're in this realm of Roblox being down, I thought I would do a little bit of a video where we can go through some of my ideas and stuff where things that I would like to see into the game. And that, well, in the past I put up a video where a lot of you probably recognize some of these pictures and so forth and concept arts that I have uploaded previously to this video, and so on and so on. So let's go through them, and I'm going to discuss how I'd like to see them in the game. Not just here's a picture, I'd like to see this animal. It needs to have a job, it needs to have a role, and well, let's face it, this little dude here looks absolutely spectacular. So they're not going to stop, are they? So moving into, I'd like to see some sort of boss or a mini boss, or guys, stop chatting. So it'd be like a spectral type horse, something that looks similar to the I forget what they're called in the Harry Potter movie, but it'd be very bony, very skinny, very skelety looking, and so forth. And I didn't want them to be NPCs in such where they'd roam around in an area where you can go over there and just farm the hell out of them like the zombies do. It'd be something that would be randomly spawning everywhere around the map, and it wouldn't necessarily spawn. It'd just have a chance that it would pop up and go, here's your chance to fight me. It's going to be tough. It's going to hit hard. It's going to hurt you, even for us high level players, because let's face it, us high levels take the same damage as you lower levels. It's based on a percentage, not on how much health I have. So I could have, let's say my health's 1,000,000, which is, it's way higher than that. And you guys have 1,000. 10% of that, you know, is going to be whatever it is. You know, so it's going to take off literally for 1,000. It's going to take off 100 damage every time it hits you. For me, it's going to be taking off somewhere in the realms of 100,000 damage each time it hits me. So that's how that works. It's a percentage scaling. It's not, hey, it's going to hit you at 2,000 damage each time, because then I could just stand there and just spam kill everything. So that's how the bosses work, guys, if you weren't aware. But I want this dude floating around, and he would be a skin that you could unlock. A rideable horse that could fly, which brings me to my next thing. With the glitch where you could take your fox and stick him in the waterfall, bring him out, he would fly without any limits to how high he could go and stuff like that. I never saw a single negative impact to the game having the ability to fly. It does not make you overpowered. You still have the same concept and dynamics of attack and stuff. If anything, it gives you more survivability against somebody who's higher level, because you are now harder to hit. You can fly away. You can get up to other areas and make it a little bit more fun for players. Because imagine if you had this horse and someone could jump on your back and you could take him up to the sky and go for a fly. Spectacular. And with Ragnar's amazing map building and his artistic touches, you know, with floating islands that we could have in very, very high mountains and stuff, you could make the map bigger, better, more beautiful, and it just really is, the sky is the limit, you know. So, you know, you'd have these demon dogs roaming around in a spooky forest that could look something like this, or have it more foggy looking, or, you know, have it a bit darker, where when you walk in there, the lighting starts to dim down. You get more of an eerie fog feeling, which could be attached and come off the back of a snowland type area. You're already in the cold and stuff, and you could have a little bit of fog animation going on there or something like that, and lead into this forest and stuff where you start finding these mythological creatures, which wouldn't be bound to, you know, special holidays like Halloween and so on and so on. So you could have mountains that have these deep caves inside them with things inside them. I know that these would be massive updates, and Ragnar would have to work on this hard to get stuff like this. But if the game had all of this in it, you wouldn't be 20,000 player base. I can assure you, you'd be somewhere like 20 million player base, because I'd be in love with it even more. I'd never stop playing. But you'd have creatures. You'd have monsters and mythological game passes and stuff like that that could generate a little bit of revenue as well, because let's face it, it's a game that you do for love, but at the same time it's a business, you know. Let's do that. And I'd love to donate all to these things. Could you imagine banging this as an Avi? Spectacular. We already banged on with the gorillas in a previous video. We've got them now, so we don't need to talk about them much more, but I'd really like to see some minotaurs in there, based on the mythological creatures. These birds could land all over her when she's standing. When they run, they'd lift off and fly alongside you, being that that's their little look. And you could have other different type of minotaurs, obviously your male versions, your female versions, your fairy, scary, you know, whatever. Hellhounds, we need those. Definitely need some of those. Cerberus just looks like a cute little puppy that has a birth defect. Look, he looks great and all, but he doesn't look like this. He doesn't look scary like, hey dude, you don't really want to have a piece of this. Same as the panther, he needs his game passes. We need like an electrical type looking panther that has, you know, this purple. This is perfect. This exactly what it looks like now is what it should look like as the game pass in the game. And as I said, with game passes, they need to be faster, they need to jump higher, because we're paying real money for them. I don't want to just pay for something that looks good. You know, who'd want to waste money on that? It needs to have a little bit of perks added to it. Nothing too overpowered, obviously. Foxes need them. I suppose they got their kitsunes, but we could make this a wolf. Doesn't have to be a fox. Make the wolves have their own little game pass and stuff like that. Yeah, it's got a Cerberus, but it's not really a wolf, is it? It's a three-headed dog. Okay, this was my kitsune thing, but the kitsunes I think are pretty much well sorted. They look amazing. So these were other fox ideas that I wanted to see, you know. But pups, we need pups in there. Definitely need pups in the game. I reckon pretty much all of them should have their cub versions. you know, and they should be interactable with their parenting versions where they can be picked up, moved around, you know, for role-playing purposes and stuff like that. So, yeah, okay, we can kill each other and have wars and fly around and do all sorts of crazy stuff, but at the same time, kids play and they like to role-play as well. Which brings me to something that I want to discuss a little bit further into this video, but we'll get to that. So if we had flying ability, this is the stuff that we could potentially be seeing. Spectacular. Like, this is gorgeous. This would be my permanent Avi. I'd never change. This would be something that I'd be in all the time if it looked like this. Or this. This is the Kitsune's flying version. So you'd have a Kitsune that would look something similar to this. Spikes down the back. It's got its tails down here, as you can see. It's got bird claws for the back legs. So it's sort of a griffin, so to speak. Now we get into snakes. We need these. We need snakes. We need reptile creatures in there. I know people, if we had flying creatures, you'd be like, well, what's a snake going to be able to do? Well, they'd have their own unique attacks. That's why I was saying back in previous videos that each animal should have its own special attack attached to it that could be done. So when they attack, it's not just swipe a paw, bite. It should have something that should be attached to it. Like if it was a cheetah, it would have a really blistering dash attack attached to it. If it was something else, you know, like let's say if it was a kangaroo, it could jump really high and stuff. Snakes can get into places where others can't to get access to certain things, like that are skins that are attached, and they have their own little caves and holes and burrows and things like that where they'd be safe from other things, like let's say birds and other creatures that want to eat it all the time. Crocodiles, now we're talking. Obviously they won't look like this in the game because, let's face it, it's Roblox. It's not a PlayStation 5, it's not a PC. This is Roblox we're talking about. They're not going to look as clean and shiny as this. These are some other versions that you could have in there. These are just concept arts, but, you know, you get the idea. They'd have their own little ability to float through the waters and swamplands and mangroves, and so forth and so on. And these are some of the map concepts that we could have for like little water areas. We've already got the rivers and the waterfall in there, but let's face it, it's just one river system that runs through there. Ragnar could easily expand on that, putting these like wetlands in there, these swamplands where they'd be wet, they'd be damp, they'd have all their little creatures in there. Now this is where I was saying you could have the NPCs where there'd be crocodiles in there. You don't just get the crocodile, you got to go out and hunt the crocodile, and as you kill it, you know, the normal base skins would be very easy to get. It'd have like a 90% chance to drop, to where you get the special ones would drop down to a 3%, and then obviously have your game passes attached to it. There's always going to be those 3 tier levels. Don't just give them. Maybe give one crocodile or something like that, one snake. That'd be very boring, very base level, and then have the rest locked behind challenges inside the game, forcing players to play, because they'll be like, I want that. They look great, and if they want to spend Robux because they got it and they can get things that look legendary, okay, put those things in place would make the game amazing. Again, you could add things, you know, like little broken actual piers and stuff, but not like the one that's up where the gorilla lair is, where you drop off onto the side and you're just levitating in midair. Make it so you fall. Okay, we don't want any of those shortcuts. Let us fall into the lava. Let us die. Make it more perilistic, so to speak. Lions, again, they need their game passes. All animals need their game passes. They need their special stuff, because the base value ones are boring over time. Nobody uses them. Put some wings on them. Let us fly to the skies. Look how gorgeous they look. And then the ones that don't fly would have really cool skins like this. You know, they don't. I know everyone's going to go for the wings and go flying, but that's fine. After all, you make the game for us to play, and that's what we want. We want to fly. Everyone wants to fly, and we're the ones that play in the game, and that's what you want. You want more players to play. Give the players what they want. Elephants. Talking about give the player what they want, I've been crapping on for elephants for nearly a year. We need elephants. And the woolly mammoth would be the special one, who is bigger than all the other elephants, because he's a woolly mammoth. He earns his right to be a giant. Spooky elephants in there with their, you know, oh, God, you're beautiful. Mwah. I love you. Oh, look at you, darling. I'll take you home. I'll pat you. I'll give you lots of love with your butterfly ears. Lions, Here we go. Look at these guys. Now, these guys would be locked behind Robux. I don't care what you say. I'm sorry, kids. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, whoever doesn't have Robux. But anything that looks this spectacular needs to be locked behind Robux. Okay, leave the best for Robux. Then go down to the next tier, which will let's say we have ultra level, legendary level, epic level, rare level, common level. Anything that is ultra and legendary should be locked behind Roblox, period. Epic, locked behind bosses and challenges, with rare as well, with the potential every now and then drop a rare for a freebie here and there, something easy where just find it, not locked behind a challenge. You just got to literally find the thing and stuff like that. So that's what I would say. And anything common on all that would be your base value animals, which would be just, you know, pretty much free there already and stuff like that. Moving on to these roaring looking things, animals need their sound effects. We've already got punch sound effects. Let's have a button where we can roar. It's already in a few other games in Roblox that I see. It doesn't cause any lag issues, doesn't cause any crashes. It's like that dragon game, whatever it's called, where you can fly around, roar as a dragon. The only downside of that dragon game is you can't hurt other creatures. You can't fight. So that's where Animal Simulator steps out into a realm of its own, because you do go out into the world at your own risk, that you can be under constant attack from things, and that's what makes this game special to me. I hate going into things like your Brookhavens and stuff. They give you these machine guns and shotguns and you stand in front of somebody, you can't do nothing with it. It's like, well, what's the point? That's like giving me a pair of wings and saying, they're just there for looks, man. You ain't flying. They don't serve no purpose. Why tease me? So give us some sound effects, give us some roaring. I've always wanted them in there. Be really, really cool. Some more elephant concepts, guys. Think that looks really cool. But yeah. So look, moving right along. So big shout out to man Creekcraft. Look, dude's a really big YouTuber. He loves his piggy and stuff like that. That's what he specializes on mostly. But he did do a big stream last night in the relation to Roblox being down and stuff like that and dropping that, and he has no info into what's happening, when it's going to be up and running, stuff like that. At best, everything is just speculatory at the moment. A lot of crap just being flung around by people saying this is what's happening. You know, apparently it was supposed to be up and running yesterday at 2 IDS time or whatever it is. Look, guys, if it ain't coming from Roblox, don't believe it, okay? It'll be up and up when it's running. That said and done, when I find out, I've got a couple of inside sources that may be privy to some better information that's a little bit more solid. I'll let you guys know when it's safe to enter as well, if you don't already know. So I can assure you that as soon as I find out about the status of Roblox, I will let you guys know. So again, big shout out to Creekcraft. Great channel, great guy, funny to watch. He's got some really amazing info and stuff like that. But most of us said he's more of a piggy fan and does all those sorts of things. But he does find stuff like the new avatars that are coming out where you can do tests on PC. I don't have PC, so I don't get really right into that one. But you can check them out, and then you know, have these more very animated faces and heads and stuff like that. So it looks pretty cool, but I'm going to keep it up here and wrap it up here, guys. So look, it's crap, so get outside, have fun, use this opportunity to get some fresh air, catch up with friends, family, take up a new hobby, something like that. You know, play some music, draw pictures, read books if you're an adult, you know, do more adult things, maybe take up some of those projects that need to get done that have been sitting on the back burner for the last 7 months. So look, guys, it is what it is. It'll be back when it's back. It's you know, an over a $5 billion franchise here, Roblox is, so I can assure you that days that they're not up and running, they're losing thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars per day. They'll have an army of engineers and tech support all over this, guys. So they're not just doing this, you know, for giggles here. There's serious matter to them, and they will be all over it. So until further info comes out or bears light, I wish you all well. I hope everyone is safe, and until the next video, guys, giving you a huge area, oh yeah, and till next vid, guys, peace out.